Let's talk about King Melchizedek, or Melchizedek, if we're to pronounce both ways, in the Bible. Melchizedek is a figure who's come to my attention lately. It started about a month and a half ago when I was the lecturer that week at my church. A lector is somebody who does the readings, and I'm a volunteer lector at the at my church parish, and that week I was assigned the reading from Genesis, which talks about King Melchizedek. Now, he's a very singular figure in many, many ways, is King Melchizedek. In case you didn't know, I'll tell you just a little bit about him, the little that we do know. There's a passage in Genesis, which was the passage that I read, in which Abram, who his name hadn't yet changed to Abraham. Abram comes after having been in a battle with his enemies, and he meets with King Melchizedek of Salem. And King Melchizedek is said to be both a king, obviously he's the king of Salem, but also a priest of the Most High, God. This is the actual wording in the text. A priest of the Most High God. And not only is he called a priest of the Most High God, but he comes out and he serves Abram bread and wine. So you have a king and a priest. This is not a typical thing. I'm not an expert on the culture of the period by any means, but I do know that the priesthood, the Levitical priesthood, and so forth, wasn't something that was held by kings, generally speaking. And this whole idea of him being both a king and a priest and serving bread and wine to Abram, I mean, what does that sound like to you? It sounds an awful lot like communion, doesn't it? It sounds like the Last Supper. Take this bread and eat it. This is my flesh. Take this wine and drink it. This wine is my blood, and so forth and so on. Now, Melchizedek isn't quoted as saying those things. He isn't quoted as saying, this is my flesh, this is my blood, but he does serve bread and wine, which is not a typical thing. And after this ritual where he serves Abram bread and wine in Genesis, this is thousands of years before Christ. After that, Abram agrees to give the king a tenth of his possessions. A tenth of the things that he's confiscated in battle, his booty, his war booty. He gives that to King Melchizedek. So this is a very singular figure for more than one reason. There's another reason. Another thing that makes King Melchizedek so unique is that there is no genealogy given. And genealogy in the Old Testament is very, very important. That's why you have all these chapters which talk about so-and-so begat so-and-so begat so-and-so, and so we see the lineage. We see how one person is somebody, one guy is another guy's father, and that guy is the father of another guy, and so forth and so on down the line. But with Melchizedek, there's no detail given about his lineage. And in fact, in a passage in one of the New Testament epistles, I think it's Hebrews, but I'm not sure. The claim is made that King Melchizedek has no genealogy. He has no mother or father. He has no beginning or end. And this has led a lot of people to wonder about the true identity about King Melchizedek, because we've got he's a king, but he's also a priest. Who else was a king and a priest at the same time? My kingdom is not of this world, Jesus said, but he nevertheless is King of Kings. And he's the first priest. He's the proto-priest. He's the first one who distributed communion. And it's a belief in both Catholic and Orthodox theology that the apostolic succession is those who were selected by Christ or by apostles who were selected by Christ to have the to be able to distribute the sacrament of all the sacraments, but most importantly the sacrament of communion, which is done in Mass. So king, priest, no lineage, no beginning, no end. So there's endless speculation. Who is this Melchizedek? He doesn't seem to. We don't know anything about his lineage. He seems to be of some kind of supreme importance. Abram is so taken with him that he decides that it's best to give him to tithe to him, to give him a tenth of his possessions, a tenth of his wealth. All these things kind of pile up, all of these parallels between Melchizedek and Christ pile up, and it makes and there's been speculation about precisely that. Is Melchizedek an earlier incarnation of Christ, or when Paul or whoever the epistle writer was said or wrote that Melchizedek had no genealogy, was he being literal, or was he actually just saying we don't know anything about his genealogy, but he represents symbolically what Christ is, because with Christ it's not about lineage, it's about who he is. His identity derives from the fact that he's the Son of God. So I guess it is about lineage, but it's not about being born from any earthly father. It's about the direct divine lineage. And so he's a king, but also a priest, and he distributes bread and wine. I don't think there are any other instances of distribution of bread and wine unless I'm wrong. But and like I said, I don't know the backwards. I don't know the Bible backwards and forwards, but I don't think there is. So that's something to meditate upon. That's something to think about. That's something to ponder over. To the extent that it's fruitful. I mean, I found that the fact that I was given this passage to read means that I took that to mean that this was something that was being intentionally put into my mind to think about this entire issue. And so I did, and so I have, and that's why I'm talking about it now. What do y'all think?